What is going on, YouTube fam? This is your boy J Money here, coming at you guys with a regional report of, why stands Fort Worth? No, regional in Fort Worth. This is going to be something that you guys do want to see because it involved the deck that I had posted about on the last video, being Lunalight Danger Thunder, or actually, should I say Lunalight Thunder Guard Dragons. I took out the Dangers and dropped it down to 42. And then I realized, hey, 3 Mothmans is still really good because I can still act as Curious without needing to do Force Tricks and all that other stuff. And it makes it to where if I just open 1 Luna, I still have something, so I bumped it up to 45, and that is what I played with at the regionals. So, before I even get into that, I did see the comments through the last video, so there's some discrepancies in terms of the combos I had. So, shout outs first to Hugo Rodriguez for pointing out that Emerald Bird could not get its effect off of Lunalight Tiger's effect because apparently Lunalight Tiger does negate the effects. Never really paid attention to that part simply because of the fact that Kaleido Chick always got its effect off no matter what, and that was generally your only target you were ever summoning with Tiger, really. So my bad for that. Thanks for pointing that out. Also shout outs to Leonardo Lippi for mentioning that Tiger is a light monster and not a dark monster, like literally the rest of the archetype being dark. I mean, unless there's other Lunalight cards that are light, I mean, feel free to point that out too, but from my knowledge, everything in that deck is dark. Tiger just so happens to be the only light monster, and so yeah, can't search Tiger with Brotar by targeting Kaleido Chick, so that's unfortunate there. So shoutouts to him for pointing that out, and shoutouts to Cheater XL for mentioning that I banished OG Thunder Dragon with Wyvern Burster, which is weird. But it didn't really matter because well, first off, one of my friends from Colorado, Zach, he pointed that out way earlier, and as he had mentioned, and as you guys saw in the video, I had plenty of different dark targets in the graveyard, so it didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. So I took note of all those. I did not make any misplays, or I didn't make those misplays going into the regional. So how did I do? I got bodied, not gonna lie. I did not do nearly as well as I thought it would have, and it's not really for the reason you think. It's not because of the deck itself and the bricks and all that, but let's just go over our rounds. Round 1, we played against some go second, like dinosaur deck and all that. He won the die roll, made me go first, won that 2-1. Round 2, I played against Heroes. We ended that in a draw. You got a little time. Round 3 was another hero matchup. I won that 2-1. Cowboyed for time. Scumbag move, I know. Round 4, we played. We found out what our worst matchup was. Thunder Dragon. Not searching is a huge deal in that deck. So, we lost to that. We got 2-0, actually. And that's one of the highlights I'll explain later. Round 5, we played against our first Grand Maju opponent. We lost to that 2-1. And I learned that my deck literally has 0 outs to the BLS link. I probably should change that somewhere in the side deck. So, yeah, BLS link too strong. Alright, round 6, we played against a Fluffle opponent. Yes, Fluffles. We lost to that. And, I'll go into that later. Anyway, another highlight. Round 7, Princess, we ended that in a draw. Very unfortunate, but whatever. And last round, we played against another hero deck. We lost to that one. Oh man, I don't know what was going on with all this. There's so many hero players there that day, and muskets too. I dodged the musket matchup, but yeah, those were my matchups. So, what are the takeaways from this event? What made it to where the deck I was piloting did not perform very well. One thing I've noticed, and I played two things. I did the regional on Saturday, and then the previous day on Friday, I played locals. I learned two things. Infinite Impermanence and DD Crows are everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. People are main decking DD Crows like it's nobody's business. And Infinite Impermanence. I'm assuming the Impermanence is for Azathoth. I'm assuming people are anticipating Lunalight Orcus running around being rampant, but I don't really think that's the case. Now, as for DD Crows, that's just a curveball that I didn't even begin to expect. I didn't think Crows would be main deck to this degree. I got DD Crowed 5 times. Ah, man. It's good. Alright. Anyway. Those are big deals. I never got Nibiru once, which means the deck did exactly what it was supposed to do, and that is make Azathoth before you commit to any good combos. That wasn't the problem. The problem was people made decking DD Crows for the Orcus matchup, because of the how the Orcus is played now. The moment they dump Harpoor, people just want to just rip it out of the graveyard with DD Crow and hope that stops the turn. And how that really affects me, it hits me a lot harder because if I send Yellow Marten to the graveyard and they just go banish it, and I have no other way to put another Luna in the graveyard, you know, or search another Luna, you know, if I don't have a Luna in hand, you know, if I don't have a way to discard a Luna out of hand for like Perfume or something like that, I'm in a tough spot, which puts me in a tough spot. So, yeah, DD Crows are one of those cards that are just live before I even Azathoth my opponent, and it just so happens to be really good against my deck because, hey, I need the graveyard. So that also leads to another issue, which was my hero matchups were really, really tough because Dark Law like really puts a hamper on that deck because again, it desperately needs its graveyard. Like very, very much it needs the graveyard. A lot. And so Dark Law and Plasma I had to face against that board. All three of my hero matchups. That was insanely difficult. I would have like really good hands too. And it would Dark Law just makes it an incredibly live hand and an incredibly dead hand. Because again, I have no graveyard at this point. So DD Crows make me have no graveyard. Dark Laws make me have no graveyard. People play Infinite Impermanence, so I make Azathoth, I do all my stuff, and I get my, I had my Curious met with Infinite Impermanence 3 times, so now I have to do something about that. I was playing the Luna package purely because I don't need to play Call by the Grave at that point, but if DD Crows are getting played that much, guess I need to play Call by the Grave to stop Crows. But that's not even the worst of it. Or Ghost Spells to stop Crows. And Call by the Graves, because I've gotten my Yellow Marten called by the Grave a few times too. So maybe Ghost Spell will be a nice addition moving forward. I still need to do something about getting my Curious met with Infinite Impermanence. I think all of these things would kind of go away if Orcus wasn't a thing. And that's the thing. The conclusion I had drawn was as long as Orcus is going to have a presence in the meta, like cards like DD Crow, Infinite Impermanence, and things like that would kind of be a mainstay in the metagame for as long as Orcus is a thing. So basically, the deck I'm playing is very, very safe to very unsafe to play as long as Orcus exists right now. Because the cards that are being played against Orcus are really, really crippling to my deck. So that's one conclusion that I have made. 2, the deck, as I said, it plays through interruptions like nobody's business. That is still true. However, I've learned that it plays through interruptions that interact with the field. I've learned that anything that is basically touching my graveyard is, that's a no-go. That's when it's very hard to play through things, when things are just constantly ripping cards out of my graveyard or stopping things from going to the graveyard, or just Dweller just preventing. I mean, Dweller is not even really that big of an issue. The only cards that I really activate from the graveyard were Perfume, Serenade Dance, and Yellow Martin. Other than that, the Thunder cards still got their effects when I banished them for like Levianeer. I still can summon with Tiger. That wasn't the issue. Now Lancia, on the other hand, Lancia is an issue if you didn't hard draw Chick Tiger. You know, if you have to search any of your cards via Perfume, then that's a problem. You know, if you don't have Tinky, that's a problem. You know, I learned I can play through Lancia if I already have Chick Tiger in hand. Then at that point, Lancia isn't a big deal, but it still kind of is a big deal because you can't summon Levianeer, which means you can't really make 38, but you can still access Diabolos, and you can still summon your Thunder cards with Saryuja and still make your Colossus that way. You just can't banish them. So that part was a big pain. So my Thunder matchup was really, really atrocious. This guy was playing all kinds of hand traps. He won the dice roll. He sets one card past because apparently he bricked, and I can see why he bricked. Because I'm going, and I summon my Kaleido Chick. That set card was Esolve Judgment. He flips that immediately. So I'm like, okay. I Tigered. I went for Kaleido Chick, you know, and he goes Ghost Ogre. I'm like, okay, Ghost Ogre is not really a card played this format, but you know, whatever. Tiger effect, resummon the Kaleido Chick. I send Martin to the graveyard, and I still somehow managed to extend a little bit. So you know, activate the Perfume for the Martin, and I banish the Perfume. I already had Serenade Dance in hand. I discarded the Serenade Dance, and he ashes that. I'm like, okay then. Okay, so somehow I still managed to somehow salvage this and make my way to a Force Strix, do search Zephyros the Elite so I can make my Curious. I go for that Force Strix, and he goes Infinite Impermanence. Like, it's no wonder you bricked, man. You're playing too many hand traps. But according to this guy, he feels like he has to because of the Orcus matchup. And that's fair. In phase, discard Thunder, add OG Thunder. Dark, my bad. And he draws Hawk for turn. And he makes his Colossus. Now, I somehow still managed to make somewhat of a board. I can run over Colossus twice, but I have to run it over 3 times because he has Hawk and Dark in his graveyard. I need to get his Colossus off the board so I can play out the rest of my combo. I was only able to have Saryuja Skuldred and Diabolos, and I could have run it over the 3rd time had I been able to search. Now, during this combo, not searching became a apparent big deal when I could not search OG Thunder Dragon with Thunder Dragon. I couldn't search off the Dark I had in my own graveyard because before he made Colossus, I discarded my Thunder Dragon Dark to add one before he made Colossus and all that. So I couldn't search with Dark, I couldn't search with OG Thunder Dragon. I was in the position to where I could make Justice Seer, but there was no point because I couldn't search my World Legacy Guard Dragon. I made Romulus that combo, but I couldn't search my Ravine. I couldn't... there was like one more card I couldn't search. And it's just such... Oh yeah, I summoned Diabolos from the deck with LP instead of Brotor, because I can't search. I can't search my Levianeer. You know, just being denied 5 different searches was absolutely terrible. And it was very apparent. So, game 2, the guy opens Dimension Shifter, double DD Crow, and Ash Blossom. The Dimension Shifter alone won him the game because I need my graveyard. Very, very much. I need my graveyard. I need cards in the graveyard for Tiger. I don't need effects to really activate there. I just need something there. Oh, these kids. Okay, here we go. Noise is quieted down a little bit. So anyway, yeah, I just need cards in the graveyard. That is the biggest issue. Just cards that I can play through interruptions as long as I can access my graveyard. And this format, everybody's playing all kinds of cards that make it to where I cannot interact with my graveyard. So, you know, I'm still going to do the deck profile. The deck is still insane. The problem is, because Orcust is a thing, hand traps are being played that really shouldn't be played. So, also, I do want to note that although I did seldomly brick, I did notice the couple of times that I did brick is when I essentially opened no Lunalight cards or one Lunalight card that wasn't just Kaleido Chick, essentially. If I opened Tiger and no other ways to get to any other Lunas, it was kind of dead. If I opened, even if the other Lunalights were pretty good as long as I had access to Carbonetin, but generally those really wonky hands were any hands where I just didn't open 2 Lunalight cards, or 2 ways to get to Lunalight cards, and that was very, very apparent because it left me in very, very vulnerable situations to where I had to, either I already had Carbonet in hand or Flamvell in hand or a way to get to them, and I'd have to go straight for a Justice here and go straight for Guard Dragon combos and leave myself open to Nibiru, but luckily my opponents didn't have them, so that was pretty good there. So that is something to note. Wonky hands involve hands with almost no Lunalights in it. Synopsis. Don't play this deck if Orcust is present in the meta. Wait until Orcust gets hit. Wait until Orcust is no longer some kind of threat, and then pick up this deck and play it. Then we'll be good to go, because then we're not going to expect DD Crows and infinite permanences everywhere. So yeah, that's my analysis, guys. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I will have a deck profile up soon, so look out for that. Thank you guys very much for watching. This is J Money, and I am signing out.